In this episode, we're going to talk about endurance and what is it? Why is it we want to go and do endurance events? And what does endurance mean? It means we need to endure and we want to endure something. So, endure, in terms of some of the definition, is that we like to or have the capability to suffer for a period of time, or to be through pain for a period of time, or go through something difficult and hard and endure it for a period of time. So what's with everyone wanting to go out and do endurance event? And I know that means different things for different people. There's ultra running or running, and a 5K can be hard to endure for certain people, whether you're first time 5K or you're a seasoned 5K and you're absolutely going at blistering pace, you're still enduring something. And then you could go to the other extreme where you're doing 250-mile ultra, and it's taking you 4, 5, 6 days during the winter, like the Spine Race, and you're looking to endure that over a long period of time, but the intensity is slightly different. But what you're enduring is, and the feelings is very different. So I find it fascinating. And then you've obviously got the Ironman, all of these other events, and there's lots of HYROX. There's so many out there that cause us to endure and suffer. So then it leads you to think, why are we wanting to suffer like this, physically and mentally? And then is it because it's instinctive from all of us as human beings? Like, for millions of years we've wanted to go out and sort of like suffer and endure and go and hunt and go and find and discover and go and explore the world and go and adventure and go and do these things. And it's been like, it's instinctive to us as human beings to want to go and endure something and go the hard way and do things hard. And then that leads me to think about, well, is the endurance or the capability or desire to endure, because I think we all can endure, but then there's a desire to want to go and do it on your terms, because there's lots of people out there that are enduring things and can suffer, but it's not on their terms. Sadly, it's on terms of how just life can just throw bad things at you, and you go through challenges, and they're life challenges, and they're things that you haven't chosen to do. So there is still that level of endurance, but then there's the choosing of to go and do something, to go and suffer. So when we think about that side of it, is it everybody that has that desire, or is it a certain few or a portion of the population or a percentage of the population that want to do that? And if you think about that, then is it the type of person you are? Is it because you've lost someone? Is it because work scenarios and situations that means you want to desire and you need to get out and do other things? So why are we doing it? So I can't answer that for everybody, and I'd love to know your thoughts on why we want to go and do endurance events and suffer. And I'd love to know your definitions of endure. Is it the long distance? Is it real long suffering, outdoors or whatever it is, or a triathlon, an ultra, or marathon, or whatever it is? But if I start trying to break down the reason why I like endurance events and why I started, is really it was a life kind of like point in where I was at the time. I was working really hard. I was in my mid 30s. I've always done some level of sport, but I kind of come out of it because of career and being busy and traveling a lot, and that therefore meant I had put on weight, and I was working constantly, and I felt my health slip, and also my mental capacity to sort of like be able to be well was slipping as well, in terms of happiness, because you started to sort of like feel stress and pressure and all of those things. So you get to a point where I was overweight, I was working really hard, I was mentally drained, and I had a family and a wife, and you get to have a reflection of your life and think, well, life's not long, like it's short and anything can happen, and I'm not happy with myself. So I signed up to an Ironman as my first ever, I would call that, endurance event. And that was in Frankfurt. And therefore, I went on a journey of 12 months, which I gave myself to finish and to start and finish the Ironman, to go on to a journey of discovery of how to run. I was already a okay cyclist, but I couldn't swim either. So how to learn to swim, and that was, exciting. It was insightful. I was learning a lot of things. Also, I was transforming myself, in terms of fitness and health wise. I was having to endure a lot of change and sort of like volume in terms of like exercise, having to fit that into, still work and family and everything. So you're beginning to endure a lot. And enduring is not just the events that we do, it's also the preparation and the training that we put in around our lives. So I was getting very excited about, being outdoors and learning how to run and getting better and feeling the progress. And the progress felt amazing. It was addictive, the progress, because you really, really feel you're kind of making changes and you're getting fitter, you're getting faster, you're feeling better. And you're more alert, you're more awake, you're better at your job, you're better at being a dad and a husband, and you're sort of doing all of these things that you're feeling the gains, all gains. And then you get to the event and then you're worried and you're nervous and you're setting up your event, which was an Ironman, and you've got anxieties and pressures and unknowns. But that was like, felt like living, and that felt very, very exciting. You get to the event and you go through endurance of the swim, and you're breaking your mind down in terms of like the swim and where you should be and how you're going to get out, how you're going to feel. You get out of the water and you go in transition, and you've got the bike, it's a long way, and you're breaking that down. You've got your nutrition, you're very organized, and you've got the prep, and you've got like, a sort of like an overarching feeling of how this is going to go, and you're prepared for it, both mentally and from equipment point of view and nutrition and all of those things. Then you get to the end of the bike and you've got a long run, a marathon to do, and you're again breaking down the marathon, and you're progressing through the marathon to get to that finish line. And this was a lap course and 4-lap course, and getting to lap 1 through lap 2, lap 3, and I know that I'm going to finish. And you get to the finish line, and that red carpet, and you've got the stadium, and you've got the finish line, and you finish, and you make a massive achievement of yourself and what your also friends and family have supported you with, and you feel on top of the world. And I can only imagine, if I relate that to, and I'm not a football fan, but you hear people talk about like scoring a winning goal at Wembley and the FA Cup and the accolades and how that feels. You feel just incredible, and I feel that's what we feel when we go to a start and then get to the finish line, to get that medal and recognition of all of the suffering that we've done. It's recognition, and you've made it, and it's then that self-belief that you can do this and you can do anything. And then you go and want to get another fix of that. And I think it is about that fix of getting that feeling, but it's also a thing around making sure you've got something ahead of you where you can maintain your fitness and feel the same way you've felt in the previous year, and you can maintain that feeling and get to another finish line. And you want to see what else you can endure and how far you can take your body and take your mind. And I don't know whether it's the same for everybody, but for me, I feel that I can only truly say that I've lived if I've tested myself. So is the endurance part of testing ourselves? Is that where it starts? Because we want to unlock our potential and what we're capable of. So I love endurance because I love the test. And I wouldn't say I love pain, I don't, but I love the process of how I can battle and doing the battle. And it's not about battling anyone else, it's about my own battle. How can I battle my way through? And there's going to be things in the way, and I have to adapt and learn and keep going forward and progress. And it's rewarding and it's very addictive. So there's one part. The other part is when you do endurance events, you get to see other places in the UK, other towns, other parts of the world. You get to, maybe if you're doing other events, you may get into the Alps and different mountains, different terrain. It could be coastal, it could be in the forest, it could be sort of like, in a city, urban area, but you get to see other places in the world and experience and see things that you probably wouldn't have seen if you wasn't doing endurance events. And then the other thing is that you're also meeting people that are like you, and we all want to be around people that have similar kind of interests to us and similar connections to our behaviors and goals, and talk about bikes or running shoes or whatever it is, like people that are doing the same thing or having the same challenges or the same demons, or you're asking for advice. So you've got some commonality, you've got a connection with people like you. And there's no better feeling than sitting in front or standing or walking or riding or whatever it is in front of someone else that's, they may have different lives, but they're doing the same thing as you and they're interested in the same thing that you're doing. And you've got that shared, I don't know, like connection. And it breaks down all the barriers. You don't even know what they might do, or what they could be a CEO, they could be retired, they could have 3 children at home that and have their own challenges at home. You just don't know who you're meeting, and I think that's rewarding because you're actually then meeting the person and that's in front of you. So people you're meeting are very rewarding as well. And then of course you've got the family, the friends that support you around it. So there's many aspects to why we love endurance events. And there's also the production around it. Obviously we love all the gear that we buy in terms of training gear, and we think about, read all the reviews, we go on YouTube. So there's a lot of investment in this. And I think it's really healthy, providing you keep it healthy. And the reason being is that we are privileged to be able to go and endure on our own terms and go outdoors and do these events and experience different cities and towns and mountains or whatever it is. And we get to go and do this thing. And there may be suffering, but it's on our terms, but we're able to do it. And I feel that's a privilege. And I feel you only really also get to know yourself if you do actually go and endure to see what you're made of. You get to learn a lot about yourself in these situations. So, and there's a lot of unknown. I think we like that, don't we? Unknown, because there's a lot of things in our life that are so ordinary, and they have to be ordinary, and they are also very routine or the same. So we need excitement, and I think that excitement comes from a new event, an unknown, a new challenge, a new distance, a further distance, a faster distance, whatever it is, a new training program, a new piece of gear. So I love endurance events. I could rattle on forever, but that's just a quick thought about endurance. And I'd love to know in the comments why you do it and what you think is driving us to all want to go and endure more. All right, peace out.